Welcome to Neon Pocket Dimension, a strange and lovely reality where everything nerdy exists in harmony. This week we're talking cannabis. That's right, it is Neon Pocket Dimension. We are here with the special guest and the usual jabronis. My name is Gage, aka Luke Shot First, and I am here with the producer supreme, aka the dungeon master. That is Jacob Jones, dancing and grooving away to the fantastic beats. How's it going, dude?
We're missing Miguel. Don't forget Miguel. I'm doing great. How's it going? Hi, everyone.
Do we have the commands going? Let me see. Yes, it did. Okay, got it.
There you go.
Perfect. And also to his left is the voice of an angel singer bro, aka Steven. What's up?
Hey, how's it going, dude?
Yeah. And last but certainly not least, I'm doing just fine, by the way. We have a longtime friend of mine and the owner of Green Monkey Cultivators, as well as the godfather of my child. This is Ben. I'm going to say your last name, Miller. What's up, dude?
How we doing, guys? Thanks for having me.
Hell yeah.
How does it feel to be doxxed, sir?
Doxed in the first few minutes.
Awesome.
Yep. Hell yeah. Well, we're here to talk weed, but before that, a little housekeeping. This is Neon Pocket Dimension. We are streamed live at 7 p.m. Pacific time every week, Wednesdays on Neon Pocket or Twitch.tv/Neon Pocket Dimension. Sorry, I haven't done this. I got to dust off the wheels a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But yes, if you're watching live, you're already here in the right place. You can sub to us on Twitch and have some fun emotes and watch ad free. But if not, you can catch it later on youtube.com/@Neon Pocket Dimension, where it goes up live as a video and on podcast services later in the week as well. So give us a like and sub if you like what we do here, or leave a review. That's always great. And if you ever want to write in about the topics we're talking about, we usually announce them on Twitter slightly before, or just, reach out, see what we're doing, or just send a random email about what you think. It's neonpocketdimension@gmail.com. So hit us up there. But without further ado, let's get into the meat and the sauce that is the WYBNOO. Jacob, what does WYBNOO stand for?
Is it this one? Oh, it is. It's there. Wow, man. I can't believe these skills I have. WYBNOO stands for what you've been nerding out on. Typically like last week, it's been a couple weeks, I think. So,
yes.
It's a general question, like video games or like TV shows. You've been listening to music. Have you been nerding out on like mowing your lawn? You know what I mean? You could talk about whatever.
Hell yeah. Well, Ben, not to put you on the spot, but we do usually kick it to our guest first. So you got anything you've been quote unquote nerding out on the last little bit?
Maybe just the NBA draft, actually. My Lakers picking it up yet again and doing nothing in the offseason, so it's looking to be another mediocre season for us.
More building.
How do you feel about Bronny, dude? Need to hear your expert opinion.
I'm actually happy that we got him. I feel like for the 55th pick in the draft, like, why not, I think people are hating too much, the nepotism stuff, and come on, man. It's his kid. Like, let's have some fun with it.
I mean, that's pretty. It's pretty epic scenario for sure.
I mean, do you feel like he has the chops, like straight up?
I mean, I don't think we got to see him play any college ball, and I think that he's obviously had like the best training in the world for his whole life. So I think as far as like, again, like if you're going to take someone late in the draft, which is usually someone who you don't keep long term, you might as well bet on a guy who might have it. You know?
Yeah.
Cool.
And what worst case scenario is he doesn't work out just like all the rest of them. So
yeah. just disclosure, we're a Lakers household, although that's more my lady, like Mochi Squeeze. She's a Laker fan, and I'm sort of like, I like basketball, and I used to be a Grizzlies fan back in the day. But I'm from here, so we just pick like teams, and I vibed with that team in 2K long time ago. So I was like, sure, I like the Grizzlies. Yeah. And then like I fell off of basketball, so now I'm like, I'm a Lakers fan because we watch Lakers games in here. But I don't know anyone on the team anymore, and I think that I'm looking forward to seeing what Bronny can do. Hopefully something good.
He played in a G League or a Summer League game tonight, and my brother was keeping me updated and said he was actually playing pretty well. So
right on.
There's hope. There's hope yet.
Fuck yeah. I love to hear it.
Hell yeah. Nice. Anything else you've been on your docket of late, or just DraftKings?
Uh, just lamenting that draft, and I guess I was up in Seattle for the 4th of July. That was fun. Went to a wedding in Enumclaw, Washington.
Washington's weird. Once you get outside of Seattle, it gets weird pretty quick, but it was cool. It was a cool spot.
I think this was still like in the same county as Seattle, so there was still like, it was still relatively tame, but yeah, Seattle itself was an interesting place for the 4th. It was still very touristy. There wasn't a lot of festivities. I was a little surprised.
Looks very rural.
Enum.
It is. It's very rural. Beautiful view of Mount Rainier.
Ooh, like
pretty.
this right here?
Yeah, is that it?
Wow.
Yeah, that's
Sort of.
yeah.
Let's see if we can get a. Can I get it blown up? Ooh, that's really pixelated, but you could sort of see it.
Oh,
I can see Mount Rainier from just down the block from my house. Pretty crazy.
Nice.
Mount Rainier is a tower, man. It gets up there. I mean, I can see Hood better, but Mount Rainier is
Wow.
There it is, Enumclaw.
We can learn about the government if you want.
Local government.
We can just okay, cool. That sounds so.
The guy who owned the estate that we had the wedding at, his name was Randy. Shout out Randy at Enumclaw Estates.
Let's go.
He pretty much told me he had at one point owned every business in Enumclaw and then sold it. Wow. So he's probably listed as like the mayor of Enumclaw if you went on that tab there.
Wow.
It seems like one of those towns that could have gotten bought on eBay back in the day. Do you remember when Bridgeville went on sale on eBay, Ben, when we were in high school?
On sale, dude. It's back.
Selling towns on eBay. What the fuck?
Yeah. I didn't know you could sell a town on eBay.
It was a real thing that happened. It was wild.
Yeah. What are they? What's the festival they have? That's like the medieval space alien festival or something. I don't know.
Something like that. Excellent.
I'm gonna look that up.
Hell yeah. Well, onward to we'll go with Jacob. You usually have to wait for a second. What you been running out on, buddy?
Oh man, so many things. Well, first things first. I beat Shadow of the Erd Tree. That's done. All right. Final boss is a bitch. But then I realized something very similar, or not similar, very simple, that I should have been doing from the start, which is like, you could do like, okay, with that last fight, I'm not gonna spoil a bunch of it. But essentially, my character was already set up to take him down. All I had to do is lean into what I was already doing. And when I thought about it, I was like, "Oh yeah, I forgot you could do that." And then it was easy. But like, if you need to like dodge that motherfucker's attacks, good luck, bro. Just saying.
Oh yeah, you're a big beefy boy who could just sit there and take it, huh?
Oh yeah. Well,
damn.
I after after beating it, I watched people like not even blocking. And just like stacking on, all sorts of concoctions and tinctures within the game. And then, whatever. But anyway, good luck with that. It's a fucking bitch, but you'll get through it.
Right on.
But a great game. Again, Elden Ring, still probably my favorite game. And the DLC just makes it even better. We watched both of the fucking Avatar movies. I have some thoughts here.
Okay. First of all, why? Like what? Like
I'm not gonna answer that. Number one, Avatar 1, better film.
Yeah, I'm assuming.
Okay. Number 2, second movie, same movie, just water.
Cool.
Same exact progression.
Okay.
Only that they make everyone weaker because they have children or something and whatever. But the graphics, good. You know what I mean? Solid graphics. Don't want to watch Avatar ever again. Either.
Still James Cameron.
It
is.
It's like what, 6 hours of movie? Like
kind of. It's borderline.
That's one day.
Yeah.
Jacob, don't worry. There's 4 more coming out.
I heard that, and I told Joy that, and we will watch them. We'll watch them, but only one time.
But like back to back, or was there like a bathroom break? What's going on?
No.
Like,
we watched the first one night, and the second one the next night.
Oh, okay, cool.
You know
I was
what I
like
mean?
6 hours. Okay.
No, yeah,
All
no,
right.
thank you.
Are you gonna let all other 4 ones come out so you can binge all of them at once, or are you gonna take them at a time?
I'll probably just watch them. Not going to the theaters because that's too
Yeah,
long.
exactly.
Too long of something to sit through there. Guaranteed. Because
You
I
gotta get
think
the free refills on that one.
well, I mean, I don't. When I go to a movie theater, I buy beer, and you don't get free refills on beer. So there you go.
Popcorn night, maybe.
You're an adult. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, I'm an adult. I need that fucking. I need that sample right there.
That's a clip for later. Put it in the clip section. Yeah.
I'm an adult.
Yeah, that's from fuck, I can't remember what.
Lon-
It's a Lonely Island song. Yeah, I
A
just
Lonely
forget which
Island,
one.
yeah. So I threw it on the ground, is what it was.
Oh, there you go. Thank you. What else? What else? BattleBots been getting back into it. Still on season 8. They're getting close. I think we're in like almost into the last set of fights before the finals. Still recommend BattleBots. It's an excellent show. But I just
Can I count that as a Gundam update? Because
No.
it's technically about robots.
no, because I will talk about anime. Because I am
Okay, good.
on episode 636, I think, of One Piece now.
Right on.
Fucking hell.
Jesus.
Kaiju number 8 is cool. I recommend that. I watched the first 2
Oh,
episodes
I've heard
of
good
that.
things about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I did finish. I don't know if I talked about this before, but I finished Delicious in Dungeon, the rest of the first season that came out later on Netflix. Really good. Still great show. What else? And since I beat Elden Ring, been playing more Dragon's Dogma 2, which I know
Ooh, yeah.
Steven's been playing it too. I can't fucking figure this out.
You know, it's
This
the
way?
yeah.
There you go.
Sure, why
There it
not?
is.
You
There
got
it
it covered
is.
either way.
So just pretend like you're on this side. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Dragon's Dogma 2, pretty fun game. Good stuff. I mean, I did go back
Yeah.
and like kill the last few like bosses, like extra little shit in Shadow of the Erd Tree again. Elden Ring DLC yesterday. I don't have all of the Skidoo levels, or they're supposed to be pronounced Shadow.
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 Yeah.
Yeah,
What
Shadow. I will say that I do have Cannon Box. I think I've talked about this before. And this last box I got was Animal Crossing themed. So Ben, if you don't know, Cannon Box is a monthly subscription box where they send paraphernalia, like Loot Crate was in the past and stuff like that. Only they're sending you all sorts of like joint wrap or roller or whatever, like joint papers, blunt rollers, lighters, a t-shirt. This time it came with a pipe that looked like the leaf from Animal Crossing, and it had like an Animal Crossing shirt. And here's actually a shirt from one of the boxes that I liked more than the one this time around because it's more clear.
See what we got
Oh,
here.
yes.
Smoke till you croak. Okay. Nice.
Smoke till you
There you go.
croak. Just had to show
Is
you
that like a
one.
mushroom? That's a mushroom alien, looking like
No,
an
it's a-
Amanita alien ship.
This is a frog on a mushroom, and you smoke. it.
Okay. For some reason, I thought it was like an alien ship coming down.
It looked a little
but
bit
it,
like it.
but it was like an Amanita. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, it was like
It's
an animal.
Like cannabis shirt or like tobacco awareness, depending on how you.
But yeah, it was like Animal Crossing characters, and it said like herb-avor or something like that. What else? I can't remember. But yeah, I really like the pipe because it's again it looks like if you played Animal Crossing and you know like what an item looks like in your inventory, it's that leaf, but it's a pipe. It's super cool. So there you go. That's my
Fuck yeah.
WYBNOO. I think there's more shit, but whatever.
Yeah, hell yeah. We got weeks to catch up on it for sure. Steven, what you got for us?
Yeah, this week I kind of just been dadding around with stuff. We've just been playing. It's been cool to watch my son play a little gator game. That's like a really cozy little game, like a
That
Zelda
game's
kind of
cute.
thing.
And sad.
Super cute. Kind of sad, yeah. And on the other one, I've been watching my other son get into Doom Eternal.
Wow.
So like the setup here is I've got my TV and then I've got my PC, right? And then I'm just chilling on my bed and I got one playing super cozy again, the other playing just ripping and tearing, you know?
Awesome.
And it's his new obsession and it's awesome to see. It's like passing the buck a little bit here, just passing the crown down, you know?
I
Mhm.
like that.
Personally, I've been playing Dragon's Dogma 2. It's been fun. It's been kind of weird to get back into though, after taking a big break from it, because it just plays like no other game does.
Yeah.
But I will say I'm having fun with I think it's the thief with like this master like
Mhm.
skill that the thief has. That
Nice.
seems to be like just overpowered for some reason because it just automatically dodges whenever they hit you.
Mhm.
So I don't know. Maybe I'll find something that's super hard. I'm in the desert area right now, like late desert area. Fuck the harpies. That's what I will say. The ones on the little, because as you're going across the stupid, because that area, the desert area, has a bunch of like huge monster density. Fuck. And like they're not easy monsters either. So it's like, okay, use the lifts, use the rope lifts, and you have one person rotating it, like one of your pawns rotating it while you ride on top of it or whatever. But as you're going, you're like, oh, okay, cool. I'll avoid the monsters by, taking this little longer path. It's fine. Nope. Harpies, they knock you back and they knock you off the thing and it kills you instantly.
I have seen that clips of that shit on.
It's terrible.
I think highlight reel. It's a
Yeah,
really good
and
YouTube show. By
well,
the
they
way.
poison you too. Harpies poison you too, bastards.
Oh, wow.
What? Bastards.
Yeah.
Well, not the
Yeah.
regular ones.
No, whatever those ones were, they were
Yeah.
poisoned. One of my pawns kept screaming, "Poison is a terrible affliction."
It sure is.
I've heard you say this like 300 times now.
Thanks for letting me know.
Yeah.
There's there's a setting in that game to like turn them down a little so they don't talk as much.
I need to find that immediately.
Yeah, look that shit up. Steven, what level are you in that game?
Dude, I don't know, 30 maybe, 30 something around. I want to say.
Yeah, I just hit 29 last night, and I'm like heading in that area.
Yeah, that I will say, if you can fight knock back, everything knocks you back in that area. So maybe a little tip. Yeah.
Have you encountered any dragon sickness or whatever it's called?
No dragon sickness, and they actually tone that down a lot. Apparently,
did they?
I've not seen it.
It's like
at
dragon
all?
plague or some shit.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I honestly kind of wish it would happen because it's a crazy thing. But
It sounds cool, honestly. Yeah.
It's not.
No, it's terrible.
Not
what
cool,
happens.
but it's a cool idea. To
Cool
have in the
concept.
game.
Yeah.
Cool concept.
Yeah, it's really cool to get back into Dragon's Dogma too, though. I think it's deserving of every good award it's gotten so far. But I think that's pretty much it for my life now.
When your character realizes your pawn it has dragon's plague, he's like,
Violet, you're turning violet.
there you go. I don't know if Ben heard that.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
That was from what's it called? Willy Wonka.
It's funny because it sounds like when just out of context, it sounds like Chevy Chase to me for some reason.
It does. It does sound a little like Chevy Chase.
You know what? I get that. No, it's not though.
Yeah, I know.
It's Baruka Salt's dad.
That's crazy.
saying
I
that.
didn't know that. But right on. Yeah. Oh, I guess that's just her name and the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Baruka Salt.
I was associating it with the band called Veruca
The
Salt. and I'm
band
like,
got
what?
the name from the book, bro.
I know. I'm all back ass.
Sometimes I want to
know.
slap the shit out of you, Gage.
Okay, well, I wasn't born in like the 1940s or whenever that movie came out.
Dude, you're like a little bit younger than me, and why have I seen it 25 times?
I know.
know.
That movie's really weird to me. Why are the fucking grandparents just asleep in the living room? It's so odd. So anyway,
so he like gets up and fucking dances, like even though he's been bedridden for years and years.
Yeah.
And the grandpa just gets up and dances, like, bro, or do you have like a head rush or anything like that? Like,
my legs are fine all for no
yeah.
reason.
Hey.
He must have been flexing them like secretly the whole time.
He must have just been like practicing. He's like, everybody goes to sleep. He's just like,
awesome.
Grandpa,
okay,
why are your legs so buff?
what have I been nerding out on this week? Let's see. It's been a busy couple of weeks, but I've been watching The Alkalite. It's not a good show. Don't watch it.
We're watching it, and I think it's fine, but problematic. It's like a solid 6 out of 10.
It's a solid 6 out of 10. It's just there's better Star Wars to watch. So if you don't care enough, then you don't have to watch it.
The way
Honestly,
you made that sound when you said that is alkaline, not acolyte.
Oh yes.
So I was like, water?
the pH balance of the force.
It's off.
It's a base.
There's definitely some metachlorians off somewhere. Yeah, it's all right. It's it just feels like kind of like it's like shot on a theater stage or something. It's like really small sets. There's not really like any. I don't know. It's just weird. I find the action to be pretty whatever, and like the locations to look like they're a sci-fi television show or something like that.
Dude, it's the tone of that show. It's kind of all over the place. It feels like it kind of lacks direction a little, like in terms of what's going on or what they want it to be. But I mean, it has some interesting stuff. Like some interesting things are happening, and they're kind of do like the Game of Thrones thing where like you don't know who's gonna die. Like there's some good things about it, but like I just find that the characters are so wishy-washy, and like I don't know if it was really put together so well. You know, that's sort of my problem
What
with
like
it.
era is it set in? Like what timeline does it exist in?
So it's actually kind of refreshing because it's like scooting the clock way back. So it takes place like 100 or 200 years before
Yeah.
episode 1. So it's like High Republic era is what they call it.
Yeah, let me look that up.
I think it's
Have any
100
of the
years.
other
They said.
shows been like prequels
so.
like that? I can't remember.
No, this is the first. They've done books and comics, I think, in this era, but they haven't like officially canonized this in on screen yet. So I was excited about that element of it, but like honestly, they haven't really differentiated the feeling of it very much. It kind of just feels like it takes place in the prequel era, you know?
Yeah.
Was a lot of this material developed when they were making the originals, or is this all kind of like new, like
I think we're way past. I think we're way past George Lucas's original.
We
like,
are
writings at this point.
100% in fan fiction territory, Ben.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
It's
I dig it. I like other people's takes on it, but it also, I mean, it's definitely Disney grabbed a hold of that and they're running with it, man.
Exactly.
Make some money.
They sure are. Gage, I looked it up. It's 100 years before Phantom Menace.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so it doesn't feel that different, you know, like they don't really like the ships still pretty much just look like they did in Phantom Menace, like you know there's a little bit of Jedi lore or whatever, but for the most part like it cuts to Coruscant and there's like a few less buildings, but it's like pretty much, you know, there's just like but like hyperspace is the same, you know, all their tech is just the same. And I'm like in 100 years, like think about how much changes in 100 years for us. You know what I mean? Like it's just a little odd.
Space too, man. That's got to change quick, though.
Yeah,
I think they should have
Also-
went back like 1,000 years, and then it would
Right.
have
Me
been
too.
really interesting.
would have been like the old Republic at that point. Like
it
wasn't
would have. It
Yeah.
would have.
No, the Old Republic is from Episode 1. That is the Old Republic.
Mm.
Hmm?
Yeah, because the New Republic is not until like after the original trilogy, dude.
Hmm.
It's true.
Okay.
But
I just thought it was like super old because
No,
Well,
well,
then there's like
the
there's like the Sith Wars and all that stuff, which is like not
Is
canon.
that
but takes place
canon?
way.
That's what
No,
I'm
it
saying.
isn't.
Yeah, like they're retconning like everything we know about it anyway. So it's like, what
okay.
what do we fucking know? Disney's like,
I don't know.
I'm gonna do what I want.
Give us your money for the Star Wars stuff. That's
Yeah.
what they say.
But anyways, that's the
yeah,
acolyte.
whatever. Yeah.
Been watching House of the Dragon. It's just more Game of Thrones. It kind of didn't kick off until last week's episode was really pretty exciting. You know, it's kind of one of those things where it's got prequelitis where you're like, well, how much do I really care about these people? But it's still good drama. And last week there was some good dragon shit, so that was kind of fun. Been playing a little more Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erd Tree, but we talked about that a lot with Jacob stuff. So I'm just cruising through. I've got a fun build going on, so that's cool. And then I've been playing more emulators on my phone. So I've been playing Pokemon Black on my phone, allegedly, Nintendo.
Nice.
And that's fun because Pokemon Black is cool because it's one of the Pokemon games that only features like a brand new set of 150 Pokemon. So there's not like any of the originals in, which as much as I love the original 150 are obviously the best. But it's nice to just like not have any attachments because every time I play any of the other games that aren't red and blue and there's 150 like the original 150 Pokemon, I'm like, they're obviously gonna fill my squad. You know what I mean? So it's kind of nice to be forced to be like, I'm gonna take this weird little dude or whatever, you know? So
Nice.
yeah, that's pretty much it.
I dropped gold or whatever.
It sounds like it.
I can't
yeah,
do it.
yeah.
I can't do it. I'm done with Pokemon forever. I tried it.
Wow.
It's just too tedious. I'm just like,
Mm.
I just get bored. At some point, I'm just like, all right, what do I gotta walk to some place now? I gotta fight like 10 Pokemon on the way to like one door, and then I gotta grind a new Pokemon because I don't have the type for the fucking new boss, and then so I gotta capture.
It always was.
And for me, it was like
that's a little much. That's a little much.
For me, it was you know, as I got older, I still appreciate them, but it's mostly the nostalgia thing, the reason why I get the games. But
100%.
it's, you know, because it's the same game pretty much over and over again. They Scarlet and Violet did a little bit to renew some of that, but it's like, you know, 3D and open world, but even then, it's like, okay, the battles are still the same. It's still the same loop. So
And you know, 15 frames per second is pretty rough.
Yeah, that was rough. I actually fell off because of that reason. I never finished that one. But that being said, is like, I think as I got older, I just got less patience for the loop of that. Like going out and collecting the Pokemon and like, okay, guess we have to level this for a couple hours. Okay. Dude, now we're Elite Four. Okay, let's beat the Elite Four. Okay, cool. What now?
I was playing
I get it
on like times 5,000 speed, and it still felt tedious. Not even a joke.
It may be a you thing then.
Not even a joke.
At least they give you that option.
I can't. I just can't.
Good.
I'm just not.
You just don't like the loop.
I'm not.
Yeah.
That's all right.
I'm not into Pokemon.
We still have like the glitches in it where you can get like infinity of something, or you can just totally cheat your way through at the very end, or is it like they tighten that up a little bit?
I think they might have tightened the strings on that a little bit. You can probably missing know it in the original still. Actually, I don't know.
In gold, you can still do some things.
Yeah, if you're playing an emulator and it's the straight up ROM from before, like nothing's changed.
Yeah, word.
So, unless you fix it or you get like, I mean, you could just, it's an emulator. You could also just mod it and cheat.
The freaking surfing Pikachu thing. Remember that shit?
Yeah. There you go.
Good times.
Well, hell yeah. Well, in that case, let us move on to the topic of the show. And tonight that is weed, motherfuckers. It's going to be good. I'm going to do a little quick brief on cannabis itself. Also known as weed, Mary Jane, marijuana, though this term has been deemed insensitive in recent years. The devil's lettuce, herb, Buddha, grass, dank, chronic, and many more names. It's a plant that has been used for millennia for its psychoactive qualities, as well as its entheogenic purposes in traditional and alternative medicines. Its many cannabinoids have a wide range of uses, and thusly the plant and its substances derived from its materials have become a major part of modern day society. Its influence is seen across films, music, and other pop culture, while the business of cannabis products has become widespread as states around the U.S. and countries around the world reschedule and legalize its use and production. So yeah, tonight we have Ben on as a guest because he is a real live cannabis farmer and business owner. And we come from a place called Humboldt County, which is, has been known throughout, since maybe the 70s or so as, a pretty big mecca for weed production and, just kind of a legendary weed hub, I would say. And then, that carries through all the way till today. So thanks for being here, Ben. We're going to get into some different stuff. But yeah, man, what's up with weed? What's up with you and weed?
With me and weed? Well, my background with weed, I guess, is that I didn't come from a background with weed, but I do currently own 3 cannabis farms, permitted, legal cannabis farms at this point.
Nice.
And I've worked with helping set up a couple retail stores, and I worked for a distribution company for about 3 years. So I've kind of seen it from all angles at this point on the legal side. Farming's still my passion as far as that aspect of the industry goes.
Nice.
Yeah, totally. You're I've been to your farm a few times, stayed out there for a while, helped work on it for part of a season, and it's a kind of a paradise out there for sure.
You definitely did. And just one quick aside is that Quinn was asking me, my brother, one of Gage's friends, was asking me if Gage talked about how much work he did on the farm, whether or not I was going to confirm or deny. And I just was like, Gage is the best worker I've ever had. So
Yeah,
Oh
thanks.
shoot.
There
I
you
came
go.
in like I came in
Usually
like
that's
mid. Yeah,
well, you go,
I
you
can't.
go.
No, sorry. I came in like midway through a season, so in some ways I felt like I could have done more if I had seen it through from the beginning because like we didn't really build the processes for that season. But jumping in, it was a good time for sure. And it got me back to California, so I'm forever grateful. So that's good.
There you go.
That it did. That was part of the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly. One quick story I remember from the beginning of working for you that time was I had been living in New York City for the previous like 4 years. And in New York, you really don't drive if you don't have to. Like I had rented a car to go see my sister upstate once or twice. And like, I don't know. I had like driven my boss's car around a few times to like run some errands. But like the day one coming back to work from you, I had to like go pick up Victor's truck in Ukiah on the back of a trailer that I had to pull on your truck. And this was your truck that had like the exhaust brake, so it was like a semi. And I just literally I hadn't driven in like 4 years, and my first job was to like tow a truck and a trailer with a big ass truck up the 36, which is like one of the windiest highways in California. Oh man.
It's like a monster truck. It's a F-250. It's lifted, has a flatbed. I mean, we call it a grow dozer. We called it the war rig.
Whoa.
Yeah, it
There's
looks kind of like a Mad Max vehicle for sure.
It sounds like it, man.
straight off the New York subway straight into driving, and then also towing another pretty beat up hill
Broken
rig.
ass truck. Yeah, exactly.
But it just got the engine rebuilt out of a sketchy shop in Ukiah.
Yeah.
Driving up to my farm. That was the first thing I tasked him with, which I swear I wasn't trying to.
Jeez. No, it was good. It instantly got me back into it. I was like, all right, here we go. Let's do it. And then I'm pretty sure Victor left that truck sitting there for a hot minute. But anyways.
It burned in the fire. Oh no,
there.
God.
It got stolen off the side of the road. It broke down and sat on the side. So where we're at, like the farms, there's a road called Highway 36 that goes out to my farm. And along the about 60-mile drive from the coast where we grew up out to my farm, you will see on a daily basis 2 to 5 burned out abandoned vehicles every time. And they're always,
Wow.
I mean, sometimes they'll stick around for a bit, but usually it's a brand new or a newly burned vehicle sitting there.
And then for a while there was this really nice Nissan, I think it was a Titan, that was just stuck in the river for a while. And it was like brand new and someone had just left it there. And I was like, idiots, come on, guys.
Anyway.
Yes. Anyways, yeah. So going around the panel, what's your relationship been like with weed? When did you kind of first encounter it? Maybe a story, and then where are you at with it now?
Hold on, I want to ask this guy a question about his growing stuff.
Oh, sure.
What is a cannabis farm smell like? Is it overwhelming or is it amazing?
I guess it would be overwhelming if you weren't immersed in it every day. I think like it's driving around up here, you just can't escape the smell during harvest season. Anytime between July and November, you're pretty much smelling weed on the side of the road.
Yep.
But I think it smells great. We do a process called light deprivation, which I'm sure a lot of people have heard of at this point. But basically, it's like where you can basically make the light cycle a 12 and 12-hour light cycle, which triggers the plant to go into flower. So you can get multiple runs, multiple harvests in a year. It was a process that was, I guess, invented actually like in Humboldt County back kind of pre-legalization, obviously. But when you pull those tarps off in the morning, because you pull them on at 8 p.m. and then you pull them off at 8 a.m., that smell is like, it just smells like fresh. It's like that same smell as like brewing coffee in the morning, if you know what I mean. Like,
that's incredible.
Okay.
really just pungent, but like good.
Yeah. The
Amazing.
tar pulling itself is not that fun, but then once it's off, yes, it's good stuff. It's interesting as someone who's worked also on cannabis farms. Like the first time you go, the quantity that you are experiencing is just so much different than especially back when I was in high school and like you had like dime and eighths and maybe ounces at times, and then like and actually we saw pounds when we were in high school just because of where we lived, but so to really be there and there's 500 outdoor plants or beds and beds with hundreds and hundreds of plants in each one of them, it's a different thing, but it's just a big ass farm. That's what that's what it is for sure.
But forbidden fruit must be tasted.
And then if you're allergic to like grass and pollen, it'll fuck your day up pretty good up there for sure.
I can't go then.
It's one of those things. It's like I don't know how you felt, Gage, but like back when we were younger, like you see, if you see a pound of weed back then, it was you kind of got shaky. You were like, oh
totally.
my God.
You're like, I'm going to prison.
This is illegal, And now it's like, we're seeing. we're especially working with the distribution company. We're moving through 2,000 pounds a week of weed at times, and it's just like, it's just crazy to see how things have changed in the last 10 years. Really, I think it's been less than that even, and just to see how sort of like common it's become, it's pretty fascinating.
It's incredible.
I was driving during the pandemic. I was driving for a distribution company for like 6 weeks, and I drove 2 different trips down to LA, and both times I took 5,000 pounds. So it was a lot.
Whoa.
It was, and it was just to like have that realization for a moment. I'm just like driving this big ass truck, and I'm like, wow, there's 5,000 pounds of weed in the back of my truck. It's crazy, man.
Welcome.
But yeah, all good, all fun stuff.
Last question. Can you name like just a few strains that you've grown? Also, follow-up question: is there a difference between indica and sativa in terms of growing? 2 questions.
Okay, in terms of growing, I love the question, is there a difference between indica and sativa? Because I think that is like such a like muddled subject at this point with like you go to a dispensary, it's like sorry, am I like breaking up really bad on here?
No, you're good.
You're good.
Okay, I thought I was like glitching out. Yeah, so when you go to like a dispensary, they'll pretty much just tell you like, oh yeah, like you want a sativa? Here's like a bunch of things that are sativa, and here but they're probably not really. And I think growing sativa versus indica, I'd say we're more nowadays. You don't really see true sativas anymore. There's a few that are like a Blue Dream would probably be considered that. And if that were the example I were to use, that's actually a pretty easy strain to grow. It's like a pretty high yielding, vigorous strain. And I have like this theory that ease of grow to me means that it has less like health issues. So you're not dealing with, it's more pest resistant. It's doesn't have sensitivities to like pH or like different nutrient levels that you're trying to give it. It's kind of able to absorb a lot of those things. The kind of like beginner strains, I guess, to grow, but at this point it's kind of all a wash when it comes to that. But the sativa, like, they typically have like more like citrus or pine terpene profiles, and I tend to think that those are actually contribute to like a pest resistance in itself.
Interesting.
A lot of times you use like essential oils or something like that if you're trying to be more holistic. Your approach of like getting rid of mosquitoes or something on your back deck. You're gonna have these like more like piney or citrusy like scents that repel pests. And I have seen that. I think that like those actually do help resist pests, but also somehow I think resist like mold too, which is that's kind of the other big thing that you're fighting is like mildew or mold. That's just my theory. Probably somebody has done more research on it than I have, but just my observational science. That's what I would say. So I
Cool.
guess
Hell yeah.
the short answer there is I think sativas can actually be slightly easier to grow. People's aversion to growing them is that they are not as popular amongst the contemporary smokers as like a hybrid or an indica is.
Yeah.
Most people are wanting like a runts is a really popular strain now, which is like a
I know,
gelato
huh? Yeah.
cross, which tends to be more of an indica hybrid. But I would say like the hard ones to grow would be like a sour diesel is I think
Oh,
I was about to bring up sour diesel and my
Interesting.
loathing for it.
isn't that more of a from like a drier climate though, or something like that? I've heard that sour diesel is more from like a desert.
I'm
or
not
something.
sure if it's necessarily the. I mean, maybe
I've heard that. I don't know.
I think so, sometimes there's a lot of like lore around the origins, a lot of the strains, and I know guys who claim that they were the first one to have certain strains like
Jack
Trainwreck.
Herrera or something like that. Yeah.
I brought Trainwreck to Humboldt County. I dug it up from some guy down in blah blah blah. It's
Yeah, totally.
maybe. I mean, but yeah, I think that the biggest part of it now is how it sells, and the way that a lot of cannabis sells now is through pictures on the internet.
Yeah.
And people, it used to be we'd sell weed to people and they were going to smoke it before they bought it, and I think that's where sour diesel strains like that came through. And so the difficulty to grow, and by difficulty to grow, I guess I mean like to get this like sort of appearance that you're going for, which is like this like perfect, photoshopped look, basically.
Yeah.
Airbrushed weed, basically. It's you're not going to get it with that, and so it's as much as actually it's one of my favorite strains to smoke. Still, it's
Totally.
Which one?
It's a hard one to get to look. Sour diesel. I think.
Oh yeah, sour diesel's great. Yeah.
Great high. Yeah.
Yeah. I like Blue Dream though too. That is a legit high.
Blue Dream's great, man. I feel like it again. I think.
Yeah.
There's this weird thing, and I swear it's like perpetuated by it's just like as soon as people find out that a strain is easy to grow, people actually like say like I don't want it.
They devalue it, yeah.
Because it's like not rare or something. Like
the fuck?
It's strange.
That's weird.
I'm not really sure why that is because people actually have no clue.
Like, I mean, I like iceberg lettuce, and I hear that's fucking easy to grow. Like, who gives a shit?
I don't like iceberg lettuce, but yeah.
The thing that I always recall was
my dog too, Steven. Sorry.
No worries. The thing I always recall with sour diesel was when growing it outdoors that it usually needed a few extra weeks to fully get there. And those few extra weeks, at least in Humboldt, were kind of brutal because you were fighting the rain, or like you'd open the biggest cola of it on the top of the plant, it would just be full of mold just because of the weather.
Ooh.
And then also sour diesel, as far as trimming goes, and maybe we can talk about some trimming later on, but the structure of sour diesel, like you said, is one of the things that contributes to it not necessarily looking the dankest of all Photoshop weed like we're talking about, is it has a kind of a weird, unique structure that, at least for trimming, used to be really annoying because it's a little bit like, it's got a little more space and you kind of got to follow the contours of it a little bit more than some.
Call it like stringier or blown out or like something like that, where it's just like, it runs, it fingers out, and it can be a nightmare for trimmers. But I mean, back in the day when people were, that was like coming around, people didn't trim the weed the way they do now. You didn't have like the indoor, like rock hard nugs that look like barnacles. It's like now it was used to be like, don't trim it off. You're trimming the trichomes off. And like, I mean, I agree. Like if I was just growing weed for myself to smoke, like I would smoke all of it.
You're all about that shake. You're like, the shake is where it's at.
I mean, be honest, you get more bang for your buck anyway. If you're smoking some like rock hard nug with a stem in the middle, there's a lot of stem in there, dude.
There you go, baby. That's great.
Dog.
Last question. This one's quick. I promise. What is the funniest name for a strain you've ever heard?
Ooh. Oh, okay. This one, okay, so I actually was like trying to do we call it like pheno hunting, which is where you're like popping seeds and you're when you do like breeding and you cross genetics and you have these seeds, you know, you obviously have different phenotypes that come from the two parents. Um, and so you have to basically pop or uh, germinate like a couple hundred seeds because you have to sex them for one. You can only use the females, so you're out like basically 50% on that, and then you got to go through. And typically, a lot of them don't show the traits that you're really looking for when you're doing that. So anyway, this guy I was like following I can't remember what his name was on Instagram, but he was doing this seed giveaway. He was kind of like a popular breeder at the time, and he was like, it was something for charity or whatever, and he had this one strain called Titty Sprinkles, and I was like, man,
Nice.
I gotta have that. I gotta have that. And so I think I spent like $700 or something on a pack of like 5 seeds, like which I mean, in my defense was supposed to go to charity. I think it was like to raise money for I think someone's parent or something was in the hospital, but I was like, hey,
They were getting new titties, you know?
Titty
so
sprinkles.
I'd say that's the biggest one that I've heard of.
Epic. Thank
pretty
you
good.
so much. Thank you so
Hell
much.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Jacob, you had some links for us. I just wanted to go through and get some of what we were talking about earlier there. If you want to lead us through your first little bit there. Canacon.
Oh yeah, okay. So you were just talking about terpenes. So I just wanted to pull up like a chart, a terpene chart, if I can here. But like, I'm never really like I don't know a ton about terpenes, and like when I go to the bud tenders, I'm not like, hey, what's going on? Or what are the terps on this one? You know what I mean? I know it's listed usually, but like I know that terpenes exist and they matter, and they do change things, and you know what I mean. Like they give you certain high, or like you said, they might even keep bugs away. So I pulled up this chart and I figured we could at least like go through the list a little bit. What do you say?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Sweet. So, first of all, from my point of view, it seems like the lemony one is like so much weed has that one. The lemonine. I don't know why. Right? I don't know why.
Just the different smells is what you're saying? Yeah, and there, yeah. Totally.
One little I don't know how educational you guys want to get on it, but I've noticed that the way you grow different strains, whether it's indoor, outdoor, or in a greenhouse,
Yeah.
terpenes have a volatility level and they will burn off at a certain temperature or like light exposure.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that one has a really low volatility level. And so that's why you smell it more. Like it comes through. So like even if the strain possesses some of these other ones, like in their genetic code, they don't necessarily get shown, or they don't come through because sometimes they can be burnt off. And typically the weed that we're smoking, I'd say 80% of the time is going to be coming from like a greenhouse or an outdoor where those things are lost. Anyway, so that's
that makes sense.
No, that is
my
interesting.
theory.
So yeah, it's not just like the smells, but apparently like each of the terpenes does something. So bezabolol, anti-inflammatory, anti-irritant, antimicrobial, so more medical, right? Borno, I'm gonna say all these wrong. Borneol, antinoconceptive, anti-inflammatory. So it seems like the ones up here are more medical. Camphene, antioxidant, skin lesion. You can smoke weed for your skin lesions, I guess.
Or maybe you make them into salves, and then
or you could smoke it and blow it onto like the lesion.
I'm sure those carcinogens are real good for it.
You need a buddy for that.
Yeah.
Or just like lick the weed and then just Cariophyllene, antibacterial, antifungal, anti-inflammatory. So that's interesting. Maybe you are right. Maybe like if they're turned into like ingestibles, they could be, like imagine drinking weed to like make bacteria go away. That's interesting to me. Delta 3 carine, anti-inflammatory, bone stimulant.
Wow.
Oh,
You could grow some
know that.
bones.
that's awesome.
Eucalyptol, antibacterial, antifungal. Geraniol, anti-cancer, antioxidant, neuroprotectant. So for your brain. So smoke that one to fix your brain, I guess.
Classic.
Humulene, antibacterial, anti-inflammatory, anti-tumor. So that's probably the one for cancer patients. And then also limonene has anti-anxiety, which, gotta have that one because
Gotta have that one.
don't like to be anxious when you smoke, but it happens. Anti-anxiety, anti-cancer, digestion, and gallstones. That's kind of
Oh,
crazy.
good. I don't want any fucking gallstones. So
No gallstones. Man. I'll take it.
Shit, I realized that we can't even see the whole thing. So let me move this up a little. There you go.
You're all right. You're all right.
Sweet. What else we got? We got linalool, anti-anxiety, anti-epileptic. See, that one is really cool.
Linalool is also the evolution of Minalool, which is the younger Pokemon version of it.
Great.
Dang, call back.
Also antipsychotic and pain killing. Myrcene, which is another one I see a lot, relaxing, sedating. So that actually makes sense why you would get that in a lot of probably CBD shit too, I bet. Pinene, antidepressant, anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial. Phytol, anti-insomnia, immunosuppressant. So that's got to be the shit that's in
Some deep indicas.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Terpenylene, antibacterial, fungal, insomnia, antiseptic. Transneroledol, cancer, microbial, oxidant, parasitic. Jesus.
Oh.
And then finally, valencine, anti-allergic, anti-inflammatory, anti-melanogenesis. What?
Wow.
This guards against
Crazy.
meningitis? Or is that
Crazy.
wrong? Oh, no, that's melanogenesis.
Yeah.
Does that have to do with your skin?
Meningitis?
The pigment in your skin. Or
It's a skin
Yeah.
It's
thing.
the in your skin. It's like a disease of that. So
Oh, I now I know. I get it now. Yeah.
like
Cool.
the way it
This is
generates the
more
pigment,
like the list of like medicinal qualities, right? I mean,
Yeah.
there's got to be other things that these things do.
Yeah, I mean, so this is kind of how they boil it down scientifically. Like, if the strain has more or less of these things, it should help with whatever they're claiming. I don't know how much of it's real or not. You know what I mean? But I've seen this particular graphic or something similar in a lot of places, and the bud tenders say a lot of this stuff when you talk to them. You know what I mean? So, I mean, and of course, they're marketing. They're like,
they gotta sell it. Yeah.
they got to sell that shit. But I mean, obviously, like there's some stock in this. Like, people with epilepsy and people that have like a lot of seizures and stuff, or I think even Parkinson's or something similar to it. Will smoke weed and it helps them out. You know what I mean? And so I'm sure certain strains will help more with that, whereas other strains will just make you like asleep. You know what I mean?
I also wonder how much that is like with the THC levels for some of that stuff.
Yeah.
And how much of that is like the medicinal qualities from the THC versus the terpenes, and also these terpenes I think occur in other like vegetables or
Right.
fruits and things like that in nature.
Like a eucalyptol, I believe. Is yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Hence the name. That's tight.
Nice. So yeah, apparently weed has everything from every vegetable in it, according to this wheel. So
you
anyway,
just got to smoke every strain because
Yeah,
it all sounds like it will help you in some
Yeah,
way.
You gotta
there you go.
figure it out, you know?
let's
It's
tell
like,
it
it's
go.
like that big lineup of vitamins that people take in the morning. You
Is
know?
there one that has them all?
Gotta catch them all. It looks like also on this site it's telling you like certain strains that have a lot.
That's cool.
So let's just find limonene, which there you go. Sour diesel. has
There
a
you
lot of
go.
limonene.
Lemon haze.
Super lemon haze.
go.
Durban poison I've had too,
Oh,
which I also
classic.
like. And Jack Error.
Jack Herrera. That's
Herrera.
the OG right there.
These are going to be more on that sativa side.
Hmm.
Yep.
That's probably why I always fucking see limonene, because I have sativa or sativa hybrids most of the time. And then Blue Dream has a bunch of pinene, alpha and beta apparently. So there you go.
Yep. And the Dutch Treat was on there. I think that's a really piney strain. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're cool. Let's see. Okay, so I think this is one of Steven's. We're just going down the line, so we'll just look at some links here. Steven, what was this article about? Looks like
So it's essentially them saying they're going to, like basically the day after they had reclassified it from a Schedule 1 to a Schedule 3. Whereas before in a Schedule 1, it was classified in the same group as like heroin, right?
Some
real
narcotic,
hard shit.
which makes sense.
And, a lot of that was coming from like, so they're trying to get it legalized, which is different than the decriminalization of it, right? But, and also the classification that they just did, which I believe was in late April.
Yeah.
But essentially with that means that a lot of the things like, sentences for possession and things like that can start to be, pardoned, or and those people can be, I don't know, made right,
Totally.
for things that have been just crazy, right? So this goes over like what would be changed in what they're proposing as like changes for the actual bill, right? So there you see expunge the records of people with low-level federal cannabis convictions within 1 year of enactment. So, which is really cool. I just feel like there's a lot of people that the war on drugs kind of, and this kind of goes through some of that too, was like, maybe a little too zealous with that, like in a lot of ways. So hopefully that kind of catches some of those people who got disproportionately treated for that shit, so.
You guys grow up, did you grow up in California, or did you grow up in Nevada, or
Colorado is where I grew up. So
okay.
I'm born and raised in Vegas. Yeah. Sorry.
It's just like,
didn't mean to cut you.
our I think being a Californian, our experience with it is just so much more like lenient. But I went to college when some of my friends are like from like Michigan, and hearing like they're just like extreme level of paranoia, I mean, it really accentuated how bad it was in those places. Like people going to jail for a long time for a couple grams of weed.
Yep.
It's insane. Like, how can you lock somebody up and tear their life apart? For
non-violent drug charges,
possession.
Like that.
It's honestly, it's like the safest. I mean, drug to alcohol thing. It's like it's the most harmless thing you can do. Like, you're not going to go hurt somebody. You're probably going to go sit on your couch and play some video games or watch a movie, and hug your friend or kiss your wife or whatever.
Spend some money at your local pizza place.
Orders too much Amazon. Like
Yeah, and I mean, honestly though, like California wasn't immune if you're in the more southern areas as well. Like people are getting arrested in LA and shit, and like Oakland, and it was used as a cudgel for
people here, man.
shit.
I think that's but also like I think that people, I've always encouraged people to remember, I guess, the original farmers up here who people spent years in prison for growing a plant that now people make a lot of money on it. And I think that there needs to be like some sort of acknowledgement also of like how much those people sacrificed to create a culture that we all get to enjoy these days as well.
True.
Yeah, I'm like in Oregon. I think when they originally legalized it, they did the retroactive, pardoning of people who had nonviolent possession crimes or even some minor distribution crimes, which was good because in California, I think it actually did take a little while once they legalized it to actually pass the second part of that, which was letting people out of prison and all that kind of stuff. Because like that's just so messed up if you're sitting there in jail and then like people are out there on the streets smoking it. And you're like, it's pretty brutal. But you can't get it back if you already served the time, right? My friend Chris. Back in the day, he was driving like it was like 40 pounds from across the border of California to Nevada and got popped. And he spent a long time in jail and finally got out. And then like a couple years later, it was legalized. And you're like, oh, that's gotta be such a fucking kick in the teeth,
You
dude.
just kind of wish there was some like recompense or something, like a recognition or like, like a, hey, sorry we took years of your life away kind of unnecessarily, but again,
Yeah,
I would hope they get expunged from your record like that too.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
if it's like, because that's a big thing. I mean, not to get too off subject, but like, yeah, it's like you go to prison or you go to jail. It's pretty freaking hard to get a job.
Yeah, you're right.
or do anything. Really. It's
you
like
mess with lending and things like that as well. So,
100%.
yeah, I don't
that's
know.
crazy.
That kind of stuff was just, it's just crazy to see like that had still, we're 2024 and we're just now trying to get these things fully rectified and have it just legalized in general, which it should be. It's like you said, it's I feel like in most ways safer than alcohol in like, at least if you're dosing correctly too. But
I mean, if you overdo it, all you're gonna do is
you're
like
just gonna pass out, I guess.
You're just gonna be
have
high.
a bad freaking void spin trip. Yeah.
You're just gonna be stoned.
Yeah,
I mean, there are definitely
Maybe a panic
friends
attack.
of there are definitely friends of ours for sure that go way too hard with it sometimes. Like, people who are just like ultra dabbers that like go hard on wax all the time. Like that is a level of stoner that I just cannot contend with at this point.
No, my body can't handle that amount of smoke anymore.
If I were to do one dab right now, I'd be KO'd for probably a day and a half. It'd be like it'd be a whole thing.
Yeah.
And not like a dab pen, like actually doing a dab. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is edibles for you?
Oh yeah, man. I mean, and that's the funny thing. I mean, like all respect to how we've been trying to like navigate the legalization part of things, but it's like, cautionary tale to those who are, buying cannabis products. We're still not caught up on the like testing and regulation of everything. Like, it's probably good to understand that, like, I mean, from a gummy to a gummy within one pack of gummies, you might get a variation in intensity.
Yes, yeah, and I had a recent really bad one,
True.
like really bad overdose on that shit, and it's like, oh, it's just a gummy because I've taken like 2 gummies and been fine, right? And I took one and I was like falling into the wall and shit, like so it definitely can get you, especially with edibles. I don't know. Now it's just like, okay, I'll probably just smoke from now on.
I don't like edibles for that reason. Although they are handy, it's like I could eat like a bunch of shit right before getting on a plane, and then I know I'm good. It'll hit me eventually. I mean, I'll be good.
As someone who has asthma, it's been really beneficial to not smoke as much. You know what I mean? So that
edibles.
I've been doing. I pretty much take a 10 milligram edible every night after my responsibilities are done. It helps me sleep mostly.
It does help to sleep, unless you overdo it and you get up to go take a piss in the middle of the night and you're like, oh man,
and then you can't fall back asleep. Yeah, that's
you'll
real.
walk to the bathroom.
No, I just like I like smoking. But again, bad for your lungs and your heart and all that stuff. So
these days, what's nice is just to take a nice classic pipe hit. I've gone so old school as far as my smoking goes. Like I used to smoke a lot of spliffs, and that's bad because tobacco's bad. But that was like my main consumption of other than the Rizzle era, which maybe we can avoid, Ben. But we'll see. But yeah, I used to smoke a lot of spliffs because I like tobacco and weed together. But can't really do that anymore. It's
Never did it.
Some
never
of the
will.
healthiest people I know, though, smoke joint after joint, and I mean, I think it's just really, it's like the best part is you got to do what feels right for you and what feels good to you, and And that's the cool part about legalization is like now we get to like go into a dispensary. You're seeing a lot of like I hear most people say the biggest surprise and like sort of, but also their some of their highest clientele,
Mhm.
or not highest clientele, but like the most abundant clientele are like elderly people, because it's like they finally get to go in and like they're shopping at like a candy store and they get to like have a conversation and pick out the things like that they want for the effect, to like circle back to that terpene wheel that we saw, like you get to like really start delving into the things that like really you're trying to get out of it rather than
Yeah.
just some guy, who has
Right.
that jar that you're just going to buy whatever he's got, that week.
I think that's the biggest
Yeah.
thing. It takes
Kids
away
in
like
candy store, literally.
Yeah.
it takes away the sketchiness of it too, like
Mhm.
I mean, even growing up in California and having a few sketchy run-ins and things like that, but the worst was when I moved to New York City and it was so much more of a crime there at the time. And I had come from a place where it was just like, hey man, can I buy you a burrito and you'll give me a nug in California? You know what I mean? It was like that kind of thing. But like then in New York, it was like I literally had to take a train to an adjacent borough, go to this dude's house who was super paranoid about like, whether I was like a yeah, exactly. Like whether I was a snitch or if people around in his apartment building were gonna like jack him about stuff. And it was like, it was this whole thing. And then I had to go back on the subway with a bunch of weed in my backpack, reeking of weed, where I could also, in the middle of the night, where I could also get jumped or whatever. And it was like, it's this whole thing as opposed to, literally like, hey dude, can I just have a $5 nug? Like that kind of thing.
Mhm.
What the hell are
yeah.
you talking about?
Exactly.
No,
It's different times.
honestly,
Even from
it's like
go
that.
ahead.
It's like that scene from Boogie Nights. I was just saying that. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
With the guys throwing the firecrackers and shit. If
Or
you know.
or Jacob, the other experience I remember having so much is like going to your dude's house or whatever, and then he'd have to show you like his new dubstep track he's been working
Always.
on, and he'd have to like sit there and smoke a bunch with him and just be like, yeah, cool, man, like yeah, it's really sweet.
Yeah. I got a
I just need a time. I just need a 10. I just need a 10.
Yeah, no, I had that experience once where like a homie was like, "You ever smoked a dab rig before?" I'm like, "I could probably handle it," and I smoked it, and then I had to like sit there and watch him play GTA 5 for like an hour before I could like try to drive home. And he lived by the airport. I'm like driving 10 miles an hour, like so fucking afraid because I'm like high out of my mind. Yeah, fucking hell. Cool. So we're talking about methods of smoke. So let's or methods of ingestion. So let's talk about that real quick.
Sure.
Before we get back into like the legal shit again. So we got smoking, we got joints. Now again, I said I have this subscription to this box called Cannabis, right? And every month for several months they've been sending me like rolling papers and blunt wrappers and like all sorts of shit. Dude, I am drowning in this stuff. Like I could
I'm
roll.
sure you have so much.
I could roll a joint or a blunt every day for like I could roll like 5 a day and never run out. It's like insane. But I do have a cigarette roller, which they eventually sent me one as well. So I have 2 fucking cigarette rollers, and that's how I'm able to roll joints now. And if they do send me blunts, blunt wraps that are like pre-formed, they can just jam into the top. I'm good. But otherwise, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. For my experience, I never had that like early on smoke experience because I was always like afraid of getting drug tested because I wanted like a new job or something. And so I didn't really start smoking until I was like maybe 30. You know what I mean? Even after I was 30. So, no one taught me this shit. So that's why I'm a glassware guy. But getting back to the papers and stuff, joints, those are the small white ones, maybe twisted at the end. Blunts, those are like, made out of cigar wrappers or cigarello wrappers. Spliff, you mentioned, Gage, that's tobacco and weed mixed together, which by the way is the standard for the UK. Did you know that?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, it's really
They smoke a lot of hash too, so it'll be hash instead of like flour, and then tobacco with hash mixed into it. It's delicious, but it's a little rough on the old chest. I'll say for sure.
Yeah, it's tobacco, which it's like really intense. But it's so weird because in the UK they're like, you guys don't smoke it with I don't know how you guys can handle just straight up weed. Like it's so wild to us. Like in the UK, that's how they are. Bongs, which is my personal fave because it's a nice clean hit. Although that shit'll fucking get you. You got to be really careful. Watch out for the red dragon. I got a bong called that is the red dragon that will kill me every time I try to smoke out of it. Bubblers. Oh,
wait,
sorry.
Pausing on bongs just because we have a lot of good bong stories. The bongs in our friend group have had kind of a legendary status, and one of my favorites was, and Ben, you might have to correct me if I get this wrong, but we bought 2 bongs at one time, and we named them, I believe, Palatial and Regalia. And those were pretty amazing. And then I think it was Palatial broke, and so it had like the bottom of it, like it was like a not a beaker bong, but like a straight shot bong, and then
I think there were 3 bongs.
Okay, I think it worked.
Palatial and Regalia were 2 of the 3. I can't remember if the other one was it was like Jesse's like Rasta like colored like beaker bong. But anyway,
that was like a beaker gun. But so Palatial, the bottom of it broke, like it tipped over, and it just the like base of it broke, but the actual bong and mechanism was still intact. So for a long time we like wrapped up the bottom of it so it didn't have like a way you had to lean it on something. And so we called it Lieutenant Dan. We called it Lieutenant Dan because it looked like it had like a nub of a leg on the bottom.
Yeah.
And then we eventually got it fixed with the base of Regalia when Regalia broke. And we go for it.
So ironically, being the pot farmer in the group, I probably smoked the least amount of weed of these guys.
Yeah.
And so I would get home after, being at the gym or something and get into the garage. And these guys are like, there's like this graveyard of bongs sitting around. And I'm like, finally, where it's just like they just keep getting a new one, but they can't let the nostalgia of the old one go. So I'm like, you guys, like, there's this glass shop, over in this like neighborhood in Arcata, and I was like, let's go there. Excuse me, and let's they do bong repairs. So we bring them in, and then I'm like, I think probably that day they had convinced me to smoke with them in the garage, and I was having some creative thoughts. And can you guys like put 3 of these bongs together into one bong? And the guy was like, yeah, no problem, dude. And so come back in 24 hours and we'll have it for you. So we dropped it off, came back 24 hours later, and had it was about Gage, like a 4-foot tall.
Yeah, because they put all the stems together, and then they put like the working base of one of them as whatever. So then it especially became Lieutenant Dan, because remember, Lieutenant Dan eventually gets legs in the end of that movie. So he was like repaired after having the nub legs. It was a whole arc. It was great.
It was also titanium. With being a 4-foot bong, which is obviously they're in very. I wouldn't say we sprung for the most quality glass back in the day, so it was probably a thinner grade of glass on a lot of these bongs, and also just sort of welded back together by some dude, like in a garage somewhere. We get this thing in the car, which it was like its own thing just to load it into the door of the car. It's like you have to like angle it through like you're carrying like a 2x4 in your like Honda Civic or something like that.
Yeah.
And we get it back to the house. I think maybe one person smoked it, and then our friend Victor walks by it and like kicks it over and breaks the whole thing.
I figure.
I just spent $120 fusing all these bongs together.
That's incredible. It definitely wasn't titanium like the space shuttle.
No, but it was Megazord for a day, and that was
on a bed of glass.
The bong sagas of Europe.
My friend had a bong called the Chokey. It was just like a gas mask with like a freaking tube down to the freaking bong. Yeah.
Those gas masks are brutal.
Tell your locality of where you grew up as far as like what bong materials you use, like the acrylic bongs and stuff like that.
Oh
like,
yeah.
We never really had those that much here because there were so many like glass blowers in Humboldt, but like you go outside of Humboldt and everyone's like, got their like plastic bong, or something like that.
Urthane, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
So we also have bubblers, which I think people
Love 'em.
have here. I forget who does.
Yeah, I have a bubbler. I call it Heffalump. It's an elephant.
That's cute. There
I
you
have
go.
Yeah, I have one
Bubbler.
in my room over there.
Amazing. I always wanted a bubbler because I think they look so like pinky up. You know what I mean?
There you go.
They are.
Yeah.
They are.
I once had a bubbler called the Eye of Sauron. It was pretty cool. It was like an inline. What do they call them? I don't even remember. I'm like so out of the game of like all the cool terminology. But I had like some cool defibrillator like filter thing on the bottom, and then it went up and it was this giant like red and black swirl. So it looked like the Eye of Sauron, and then that's where the water was. And then like a spout that came up the top of it. That it was pretty epic.
That's fucking rad, dude.
Yeah.
Then there's pipes. We all know pipes. You can make a pipe out of an apple. You know what I mean? But usually they're like, like a cylinder, the bowl on the end, just like that. And you have, get the little
Simple.
carb and all that shit. Or they could be
They're the best.
They could be in the shape of the leaf from Animal Crossing. Like I have. I have a few other. I have one that looks like a car. So every time you smoke, it like hot boxes the car. It's like hilarious.
That's pretty great.
That's cool.
There's vaporizers, which are a little more high tech, right? Typically, like
Volcano.
The
Yeah.
volcano. Those were classics with the big bag.
there's those, but they also have like nowadays, like you have the pens, obviously, which are the smaller
Totally.
version of it.
And
But
they're pretty clean hit too, vaporizers from what I've done. So
yeah, they are. I personally don't like pens because I feel like they hit weird always, but they're so discreet and easy to use. So like,
yeah,
you kind of need one for situational. But like I feel
You're
like
you're also smoking hash now when you're smoking that. Like the
Right.
old vaporizers, you used to actually be able to load with flour and it
Right.
would like smoke it for you, which was cool.
it's like a big ass device.
yeah. I'm
with a
talking about like the
big
big
bag.
box ones. Those, yeah.
Yeah,
totally.
those ones are badass. Or like
Mhm.
the
You
gravity
could just-
bonks.
You could hit the hotbox setting on it where they like thought of that, and then they also had like the DC outlet plug. You could plug it into your car, which was like
That's wild.
That's
Seems like-
amazing.
Yeah.
And then of course dabbing, which we talked
Uh-huh.
about. It's when they have the shatter or the resin or whatever, and then you have like a straight up alchemy style, almost like massive bong looking thing, and they have to hit it with the fucking blowtorch to heat it up enough, and then you hit it and it's just way too much. It's way too much THC.
It is,
THC.
yep.
It's for people that just I don't know how their lungs can handle it, but holy shit, those things are crazy.
I've done a CBD dab before, actually.
Um,
That was-
oh,
Pretty good, honestly. It's a pretty good feeling.
I'm
nice.
sure. Because you actually get like the full supercharged effect, but of CBD, which is mellower in general. That's cool.
It does. It hits pretty clean. Like I've noticed, like that all these different like smoking apparatuses. I feel like the highs are different too.
Totally.
Like I feel like a bong is really that like whoa, like just immediate like head fog, like eyes closed hit. Versus like the pen, you're gonna all like get like right there to the like
yeah.
that point, but it never like you can never really crest into the bong level of stone.
Mhm.
And yeah, the dab rig too, it kind of like skips that like bong, like immediate like whoa, like lungs filled, like high, immediate feeling, and you're just kind of on that like super high immediately, like you just kind of like burst out of the clouds, I guess would be the way to describe it. Like you're just like instantly as high as you are about 20 minutes after.
Rocketed.
Yeah.
And then edibles are like the real slow creep, and you're like, "Am I gonna keep getting higher?" And you're like,
That's the
I
scary
guess I
part,
am.
right?
And you do keep getting
And you
higher.
do. Yeah.
So that brings us to the edibles page here. I looked up, but edibles. We talked about it. Gummies,
Look how wholesome they look.
brownies. What'd you say?
Look how wholesome they make them up here.
yeah.
I
Look
know.
at this lady. Looks like she's gonna bake you a
So
cake.
innocent.
Just kidding. I made butter once and we put it on popcorn. That was good. Like you could do a lot of stuff with edibles.
Yeah.
Especially if you have like oil or butter for yourself. But otherwise, you go to the store, you know what I mean? You could, at the dispensary, I should say, You can get them in a lot of forms, but a lot of times these days they're in gummy form, or like chocolate bars. I swear to God, that's like all that we really get. And then pills, capsules, tablets, which is not as fun, but I think that like people with cancer and shit, I think this is kind of how they're getting it sometimes if they don't want to do the whole smoke thing.
It
Powder,
might be more regulated too. Like,
yeah, maybe
yeah, like,
might be tested better, so you know
yeah.
exactly how much.
Can I make a plug on some edibles?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Please.
man.
sure.
I work with a company called Papa and Barkley, who's a really reputable company.
Yeah, they are.
And I mean, there's a revolving door of cannabis businesses that are open and closed, and they have a really, I mean, not to mention just well-run company, great people, but their products, we were talking about like the difference of like doses from like gummy to gummy within a pack.
Mm-hmm.
Their stuff to me has always been the most titrated and like consistent of anything I've ever tried. And they have like ranging from a 1-to-1 ratio THC to CBD. My grandma uses their CBD gummies. I get them for her.
Nice.
Yeah, it's just like a really professional, good company. So if you're looking for something and you want to like get into trying edibles or tinctures or salves, like you're going to get a really high quality product with them that's going to give you a nice, like consistent effect, and you're not going to be sort of shooting in the dark with them.
Nice.
Yeah, my grandma uses their
Oh, yeah.
salves, and they're good for their CBD ones, and yeah, it's good stuff.
Hell yeah. Cool. Yeah, we'll put the description below as well in the YouTube video. Make sure get that out to the people. Let's see what else. Powder, apparently.
Crazy.
You fucking THC powder like it's MDMA or
You
something.
chopping lines with
Right.
that? What are you doing?
That's the new thing, the THCA powder. That's a big one because I think the THCA is not it's not scheduled or something. I don't know.
Yeah, there's some ones that aren't covered in the laws, right? So people like the gray market kind of gets around with it, like selling it.
I think legally transport it over state board. Don't take my word for it if you're out there like driving around across state lines with stuff. But that's what my understanding of it is. So that's it, then it looks very sketchy.
Well, and also you have to deal with the fact that like the cop's gonna be like, hey, so you have a fuck ton of weed in the car, and you're gonna be like, yeah, but it's THCA, and they're gonna be like, okay, well, I'm still arresting you.
well,
It's powder, dude. Come on.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah, there's also transdermal patches, which I never heard of. Well, that's interesting.
It's like nicotine patches, I guess.
Okay.
And then here's vapes, but mostly
Vapes.
here's tinctures, which
Tinctures are interesting.
can be used to make sodas and drinks, which is really interesting to me. Kind of fascinated by that.
Lagunitas, whatever you want to. I don't know if you want to plug them or not, but they make a really good. Cannabis. It's not beer because they can't do the alcohol mix yet, but it's like it's like their hop water, so it kind of tastes beer-ish, but it's got cannabis in it, and they're pretty good, and they get you pretty high, which is nice.
Nice.
It's actually THC. I thought it was CBD. Wow.
They have they have CBD ones, and then they have full THC ones. I think they're called Hi-Fis. Yeah.
Cool.
Lagunitas Hi-Fi if you want to look it up.
And then of course topicals, but quickly I just found this. If you have tincture, there's a recipe here on how to make your own soda. Let's see. So you choose a soda base, measure the tincture, mix the ingredients, add sweeteners if you want to, and you just pour it over ice. So there you go. That's how you make your own soda.
I've done something similar before, yeah.
Simple as
it's
that.
Pretty cool. Yeah.
Our Turtletron Robo bartender in the chat. This is for you. My buddy, who's a bartender, has made a bunch of THC bitters for putting in cocktails, which is cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Sweet.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. So that's pretty much all my stuff. I did just have some like dispensaries in Vegas, but none of them are the ones I go to. So, let's talk about what Steven had.
Yeah, I just want to do a few things. We kind of already touched on like how some of the legality part of it is just BS now. But I really wanted to kind of touch on like if you can pull up, where is it?
The state by state.
The state by state one where they kind of like show where it's legalized now, where it's prohibited, where it's medically legal. Like I think
Yeah.
Wow.
the last holdouts now are Idaho and Nebraska, if I'm right.
That's correct.
So
the blues are medical and the green are fully legal.
right. So just recreational, people can just walk in and go get them from wherever.
Yep.
So
right off
I haven't
the
looked
bat,
at this in a
Alaska.
while.
yeah, it's changed even since I last checked it, which was like a year ago, I think. But
yeah. There's been some questions on some ballots.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, what's up, Idaho? What's up, Nebraska?
Guess where my dad
Hawaii?
lives right now.
What's going on out there, man? Like
Yeah,
Hawaii should have some legal, some recreational going.
Hawaii is very
It
Mormon.
could be good for their economy too, honestly.
There's a lot of Mormons in Hawaii. I learned this kind of recently.
It's
It's really interesting to me.
very similar to Utah in that way. A lot of
Mormons
transplants.
know how to pick some good states to settle down in. I feel like they pick.
Well, motherfucking Zion. You know what I'm talking about?
I just don't know why people wouldn't want to like use something that God, if they believe in God, like
Right, it's a
God
plant,
created the
like,
plant. Use the plant. It's God's plant. Ah,
Preach.
God got mad at me and something fell off my desk. Damn you!
So yeah, I just thought it was interesting because one, to see that the whole country basically is medical legal now. Besides Idaho, Nebraska, but that's crazy. Of what maybe 10 years ago, this would have looked drastically different.
Huge, yeah.
But I think in those last 10 years, it's kind of really boomed as far as like state approvals. So even just recently, I think in the last maybe 5 years ish, for Utah, it was turned medical legal. So correct me if I'm wrong.
I think if you took a straw poll like amongst like American citizens, like people are pretty much all down for weed. I mean, unless you're like in an extreme party, it's like. So this has to be, it's like people start noticing the financial incentives of legal. It's like how many tax dollars are generated. And it's sad that that's what's got us to where we are with it. It's like, it's
money.
just how much money can you get out of it? But the people, if you asked them like across the board, I bet you most of them would be like, I mean, maybe I don't smoke weed, but like, I don't really care,
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. And that
Wasn't it
brings us
recently?
to our, what?
Yeah.
Was recently what?
Real fast before we get to the taxing, so let's definitely do that. Wasn't it recently there was a poll or something that was saying that people's intake was it was like alcohol versus weed, and weed had just finally won out a little bit or something like that? I heard about this recently. Yeah.
All I know is that they took there was a straw poll generally in the U.S. and most people support legalization. I know that much, but more people smoking weed than alcohol. I kind of do believe that at this point because the younger generation isn't really drinking. Like, in fact, right now, non-alcoholic drinks are showing up more in stores because Gen Z doesn't want to drink, so they're buying non-alcoholic, even cocktails, in a can. Too. In a can. No, I'm saying a 12 pack
from the store
of fucking non-alcohol cocktails, bro. It's just not even just beer. It's blowing my mind. So anyway, it makes sense because they're smoking weed.
I would always choose
mocktails.
To smoke
Thank
over
you.
Drink, to be honest, but that's just a me thing. I like drinking too occasionally, but less and less these days it seems.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're talking about the money aspect, right? I have that pulled up as well from the Motley Fool, which is just a breakdown of last year's, I think, as of last year, the total revenue each state has collected from this. Now, one of the things that was mentioned in the article before they're legalizing it and hey, let's give more money to startup businesses, let's give more money to small growers and things like that to kind of boom the economy, right? Was one of the things in the legalization bill as well. But it's crazy how much, like you said, this is why if you ever have a question as to why now it's suddenly okay is okay. They saw the money in it, right? And like you said, most people are down to go buy it, down to do it. Okay with people doing it, you know. So,
What was the previous thing you had up? What was that?
it was
this is-
marijuana laws by state.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there was one. Was it a different? Because I saw California had 5 billion.
Yeah, that was like
another-
an overall, like in a certain.
There it
But I'll scroll back down to it.
I think
in
it
a sec.
was.
This is right. Here's the 2023 in just in 1 year tax revenue, and in California, just in a year, $1 billion, almost $1.1 billion actually.
Huge business.
In Nevada, which mostly is just Clark County, because more of the conservative counties have like sort of pushed against legalization, and it's harder to find. But like Clark County, that's where Vegas is, and Laughlin, and that's where everyone lives basically. $133,000, which is a lot. You know what I mean? For us, versus California, where it's like there's probably a fucking dispensary in every like mile or so, or whatever.
Yeah.
Seriously, dude.
Pretty insane. And then
Ben, just in Arcata, I think there's 7 dispensaries, and that's a town of like 15,000 people.
At least. Well, was that 133? I think it was 133 million. Was it not?
oh yeah, $1 million.
Yeah.
That's what I meant to say.
That's
Yeah, $133
that's-
million.
Nuts.
Yeah,
still,
tax revenue.
right?
Which when we
And that's
voted
just
for
tax revenue, right?
it on the ballot, it said it was gonna like a big chunk of it was gonna go to education, but they immediately changed that after the fact and made it go to a rainy day fund, which we have no idea what that's being spent on.
They did the same thing in California, but I think most of it went to law enforcement. It was
Yeah,
supposed to go to
exactly.
immediately went-
I think that the same thing's happening here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then
I'm
I
glad
think it
the
breaks it
cops get
down,
another
too.
tank.
Or if you go to like state by state revenue breakdown as well, is it a breakdown? I think there's an expenditure as well in there.
Let's see. So up here it's by medical. Up here it's by potential.
Potential. Yeah,
Let's
but
see.
I
That's by
thought there was
state.
somewhere that I got breakdown of like what they're spending it on.
Step. Here we go. Revenue breakdown. It just says.
Maybe just the ones. Okay.
Yeah, just by it's just telling you Alaska's breakdown. Or no, okay.
that-
Here's California's.
Right there, yeah.
There you go. Okay. How does California tax marijuana? 15% excise tax.
And it was how do they spend the revenue? That's what I'm looking
Yeah,
for
first
here.
revenue covers regulatory and research costs, which is good. We need that.
Yeah. More
Uh,
research.
then 60% goes to anti-drug programs targeting kids, which is like 60%.
Okay. What?
Like
It's
60%.
also really vague.
That is
So
a
like
lot.
literally what this means is it's going to the cops.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guarantee.
Straight up.
Yeah.
20% goes to environmental programs. I'm not seeing schools in here at all. 20% goes to public safety. That's cops
Public
too.
safety.
So
cops as well.
80% going to the police, basically. That's what it sounds like to me.
Of $1 billion. Yeah.
Of $5 billion, because that
sorry.
was the total. Yeah, which you saw. Colorado. Let's see, is Nevada in here? Let's see.
I think they go down.
Maine, Michigan, New
Michigan,
Jersey, New York.
Which
Oregon.
is crazy
Ooh, I
that
went
you
too far.
can like have a bill that people vote on that has the verbiage of like it's going to go to schools, and then it passes, and then you can just go in and change that. Like,
Yeah.
how does that? What is the point of even voting on it if
Agreed.
you can?
There isn't, right?
Yeah.
Like, do
Legislators,
whatever they want.
governors can like just do like official actions and be like, actually, no. Yeah, look,
Hot swaps.
at least, yeah, hot swap that shit. Like at least with California, it had percentage breakdowns. This is what Nevada says: income from the retail tax goes to the state's rainy day fund. What is that?
What the fuck is that?
We don't know. We don't know. Revenue from the wholesale tax goes to cover expenses and boost the rainy day fund as well. Okay.
Jacob, do you know how
For what?
expensive it is to keep that Roswell alien alive? It's been fucking draining cash, dude.
I hope,
Okay, that's
hope
really
the
funny.
strippers. I hope the strippers see some of that rainy day fund.
Yeah.
I agree.
Um,
Not
Yeah.
a politician's got to be putting some people through, nurse.
And don't forget the police. They're stuffing them in there. Okay, but then here's the total revenue collected. This is what you saw earlier, Ben.
Wow.
$5.7 billion dollars in California.
I have a theory, and then they're making a rain machine. That's what it is.
Oh, we need that.
Day.
And they need that in Nevada,
Literally.
so that's the rainy day fund, right? So,
Nice.
Thank you, top scientists.
Operation Rainy Day.
Yeah, Nevada.
I just like watching Michigan's in the negative 700.
what the fuck is that?
What is that?
It's because they're fighting it.
Dude, Michigan's doing it right. That's like they're just giving money.
They're giving 706 million.
They're spending a little too much, I think. We'll look at what's going on with their revenue, but
I feel like that might be a typo. I don't know, but
Or is that approximately? Is that
probably
what that is?
Yeah. That is what the tilde means. It's like
Oh, that's
about
okay.
because it does look like an
Later.
approximate number because 706
tilde.
400 a bunch of zeros. So, but yeah, Nevada since 2017 we've collected 787 million, which is also a lot of money. Oregon, of course, 899. Washington. 3.3 billion, and then of course Colorado we got to talk about quickly because they started the whole thing. 2.6 billion. So it's a lot of money here. And then also if we're looking at potential revenue that you're just losing, and that's I believe yearly. Looking at you, Idaho, where my dad decided to move, $33 million. Florida, 448 million. I mean, we know people in Florida want to smoke weed. They do anyway.
Oh yeah.
They're smoking weed.
No doubt.
They're doing other things too, but they're smoking weed.
Oh yeah.
They're fighting with gators over there.
Texas could be making almost $400 million. 400 million a year off of this shit.
Guaranteed more.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
But yeah, what's going on with Michigan? Let me look that up really quick.
Michigan.
Why?
Texas legalizes that. Oklahoma's just going to go under, though.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. That is true.
Outlet for their shit.
Well, it's like a lot of people from Utah go to Nevada to get. So
Come to Vegas. We're not that far. Just 16
it's
hours.
like 6.5. Yeah, 6.5 hours. That's fine.
I thought it was 16.
Hell yeah.
No, 16. Fuck, dude. That's
From Salt Lake to Vegas.
Yeah, no, it's 6.5.
Oh, that's not that bad. Actually. That's not that bad.
It's not bad.
It looks
That's
like
like Humboldt. That's like Humboldt to the bottom of San Francisco.
yeah, it looks like
Northern Cali.
Yeah, Michigan just didn't do a good job calculating how much money they made. They're just like, I don't know.
We made around that amount.
That's fine.
That's some pretty funny official government bookkeeping there.
Yeah,
right?
I think they're smoking a little bit of the money. You know what I'm saying?
Take 100 bill.
Well, before we move on to endorsements, Ben, anything else you want to say about the weed business, or do you want to just plug your company a little bit and tell us what you've been up to lately and what your ventures are going forward?
Yeah. I mean, I think the whole thing is right now is that small farmers are still just trying to stay alive. I truly believe that small farmers provide a higher quality product. And, if you get the opportunity to support a small farmer, be a discerning customer and try to look into where your cannabis is being sourced from, I think it will pay off in the long run, because if we lose small farmers, you're going to get the same thing we see in big ag food operations, where big money gets to control the narrative and gets to control the regulations that are put on your products that you consume. And currently cannabis is under definitely the strictest pesticide and herbicide regulations, which is a good thing. And hopefully we're going to set the standard for the rest of agriculture in our country. And we're happy to adhere to those regulations as long as, the playing field stays level. And so I think the people who are going to uphold that are the people who are actually out there working with their crops every day and smoking their own crops, and not just people who are, billionaires throwing money at it. So definitely do what you can. I think it'll pay off for you in the long run and your neighbors.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, we don't want any that Monsanto weed, man. Fuck
No.
that shit.
No, fuck that shit.
That's scary prospect, man. It's already out there though. Big Tobacco and Monsanto, they're circling. They're circling right now. So, and the only way that stays alive is the consumer.
Yeah, totally.
Yep. Awesome.
Hell yeah. And what's going on with Green Monkey? What are you guys up to these days?
So Green Monkey, we had some branded products that we put out on the shelves. It's definitely a really expensive thing to brand and package. That's definitely a really high overhead cost that a lot of farmers are not able to bear, given the regulations keep changing, and different unforeseen costs spring up every year, and so we have to be a little more conservative with how we spend our money and make sure that we just keep the farm alive.
Mm-hmm.
But through the connections I've made over the last few years and some partnerships that I've formed, I'm really hopeful that we're able to get that brand back up off the ground and get it around the state. And we definitely grow a really nice, high quality product that we'd like to get out to people. But there's also a lot of other people we partner with, and that's the cool thing about the cannabis industry is we collaborate with people like Papa and Barkley, and we sell our trim to them so they can make their edibles and their extracts and things like that. So, we're out there. Our crop is being consumed by people, and we're happy about that.
Yeah, hell yeah. It's kind of interesting. It's like it becomes almost like wine does that a lot, right? Where a lot of people will source grapes from certain estates in Napa and then make their wine somewhere else and bottle it and and age it themselves or whatever, different things like that. So it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Cross connections there in the industry. Hell yeah. All right, y'all, smoke some weed, do whatever you want to do or don't, but it's good stuff.
You don't have to. But
you don't have to, but
it's kind of fun if it's legal.
We've just shown you a ton of ways in which you can imbibe and enjoy. So do that.
Go mix up a cocktail. I want to hear how these tincture drinks go.
Ooh, yeah. That does sound like fun.
Well, hell yeah. And it's time now for the show, for the end of the show, which means it's time for our endorsements. I'll start us off this week just because I got something queued up, and it actually pertains to something me and Ben have been doing. So as many people do, we have a big group chat with all of our hooligan friends and significant others and stuff in there too. It's a debaucherous place that I hope never leaks to the public. But no, I'm just kidding. But we have started doing this thing at my behest recently called Music League. It is an app that you can get on your phone called Music League.
Yeah, I've heard of this.
It syncs to Spotify. It's a little janky. I think the app's made by one person. But so there's some, it's like a little tough to get people in sometimes. The invite system is not great. But essentially what you do is you make these like almost like not fantasy draft leagues, but sort of like that.
Mm-hmm.
Where you create a prompt each week and people submit songs that they think fits the prompt, and then everyone in the league votes, like up votes or down votes the song kind of, and then someone ends up winning the week and with a certain amount of points, and then you have standings like it's fantasy or whatever, something like that kind of. So similar kind of vibes to like a fantasy football league or something like that, or like everyone here knows our fantasy critic video game league, which is even nerdier. But yeah, it's really fun, and so we've been doing it with our friend group for the last little bit, and it's just it's good participation and just a reason to talk about music, and it makes a playlist on Spotify so you can listen to every song that everyone submits, which is cool. So it's fun stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Anyone
else got an endorsement for the week?
Yeah, so we've been talking about weed the whole episode, and with weed that comes munchies, right? And my recommendation, which is usually my go-to, is Chips Ahoy cookies. So
Ooh,
that's usually going to be mine for this week. So
Fantastic.
Nice. Let me bring a graphic of that. You seen them? You know them?
Yeah,
You know them.
just the classic, just the classic.
Classic,
one,
not
just with a
chewy?
glass
Not a
of
chewy
milk
guy.
and dip them. No, not really a chewy guy. No, I like the classic.
They get chewy when you dip them in the milk.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you get a little bit of that. Yeah.
I'm
Is it
more
a
of a
sign
chewy
of
guy.
getting older? Because like I like
You know
chewy
what?
cookies. sugar, but now I'm a crunchy cookie guy now.
It
Like,
might
and
be.
changed.
I mean,
it may have. That's
my
a
whole
good point.
thing, if I want a crunchy cookie, I'm gonna grab a cream cookie, like an Oreo or like a lemon
Yeah.
cream, something like that. Yeah, typically.
Oreos occasionally, but like, so I'm getting older too because Oreos are fucking sweet. Like they're pretty sugary. So like I can have like 3, maybe 4 of those.
Mhm.
But Chips Ahoy, I could just eat. I could just fucking eat those things. So, like,
Chips.
Awesome.
Ahoy.
Ahoy! I'm gonna endorse these really cool things that I got in my Cannabis. I've already endorsed Cannabis itself before, but I got these wraps this last month. They're called King Palm. I had this exact package right here. King Palm mini size, real leaf tubes. They're preformed. They are for smoking marijuana, of course. They're like blunt wraps, but they're made out of I think cannabis leaves. But like I said, they're preformed, so all you got to do is just slide the weed in the top, jam it in there, and they hit real nice. They burn real slow. You want to go kick it with some friends, jam a couple weed or a weed in a couple of them, bring them over, spark them up. You'll have a great time. King Palm. Look, this pack $2. Amazing.
Killer.
Incredible. But of course they have other products there. I hear that the people that run this company are like great, and they have other amazing products. You can get an even bigger pack of these. I think it's like also just $5. So yeah, definitely wanna if you want good blunt wrappers, King Palm,
Fuck
Get
yeah,
'em.
dude.
get them.
There they are.
Ben, what you got for us?
I mean, I think I've already plugged a few. I think I said Papa and Barkley, great company. Go check out their
Nice.
stuff. We're Green Monkey Cultivators. We're on Instagram if you want to see what we got going on the farm. And yeah, just I hope everyone has a good summer and stays safe and treats each other right.
Hell yeah. All good
Oh,
things.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah. Well, that was Neon Pocket Dimension for this week. It's good to be back. We took a week off for 4th of July holiday, so good to be back with you guys, and thanks for Ben for being on. And if you've been tuning in with us tonight live, which everyone thanks in the chat for being here and talking it up, you were on twitch.tv/Neon Pocket Dimension. So subscribe over there and you get cool emotes and ad-free viewing. But then if you're watching later on YouTube, where this posts on Friday, or listening in your ears on podcast services around the globe, give us a like, leave a comment, or if you're listening on podcast services or Spotify, leave us a review. Helps get us get our word out to more people, so we can have more lovely times with all of you. And yeah,
maybe
leave a
some
like.
more guests. If you guys have sorry to interrupt, but if you guys have
Please.
idea for guests or people you'd like to see on the show, let us know. And
Yeah,
we'll
or
do our
or
best.
topics,
Or
and
topics,
then
yeah.
we could find guests that work with those topics. I mean, we have a lot of topics in the works, of course. But
Yep, yep.
definitely, if you're interested in being in the show and you're a cool person, hit us up. We got our Twitter down there at NPD Squad. You can tweet at us or send a DM, whatever.
Yeah, DM us. Where our DMs are open, and we're always down to kick it with cool people. We've got a couple of guests in the work. I've just got to work out some scheduling with them, so that'll be sweet. And then also, yeah, more people write into our Gmail, Neon Gaming Dimension or Neon Pocket Dimension at Gmail. No, just Neon Pocket Dimension at Gmail. Oh, either actually, Neon Pocket Dimension or Neon Gaming Dimension at gmail.com if you want to write in with things like that. So and
Depending
also
on-
check out our
If video
yeah,
games
depending
or
on the
not.
topic.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yes, our other channel for all things video gaming specifically is Neon Gaming Dimension. So check that out at youtube.com/@Neon Gaming Dimension. And if you want to get drunk with us on occasional Friday nights, check out Odd Valley Studios and the Odd Valley Tavern podcast, which is always a good time.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Did I miss anything? I think we're good.
Oh,
No, I
that's
think we're
everything,
good.
man.
Just want to quickly say that Neon Gaming Dimension, we're coming back at you. Got some new content planned, at least for me. I know that we're gonna come back with the Elden 3 at some point.
Yep.
But yeah, we might be working on more than one game review, perhaps. Just throwing that out there.
Yep, hell yeah, and some gamers gaming to come back pretty soon as well. So all good things. All right, everyone, thanks for being here. For Jacob, for Steven, for Ben, my name is Gage, and this has been Neon Pocket Dimension. Say peace, gal.
Bye.
Peace out.
Thanks for being on the show, Ben.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks for having me, guys. Great podcast.